them to stop drilling, and you call the United Arab Emirates and the Qatar people and the people of Kuwait, you tell them to stop drilling, and then you call Ahmadinejad, you tell him to stop drilling, and then you tell our friends in Iraq to stop drilling. Make everybody stop drilling. If drilling is illogical, then let's stop it. This is insane. This is insane. This is nothing. Cue that up to the top. This is nothing more than the empty rhetoric of a political agenda which is devoid of any devotion to the principles of this nation's founding. The rhetoric coming from the likes of Riech and these clowns on the left is about nothing more than creating a more perfect socialist country with them in charge of it. Let's close the wells in California. Let's shut down the wells in the Gulf. Let's tell the Chicoms that they can't drill with the Cubans. Let's tell Mexico to stop drilling, Labor Secretary Riech. Now, he's not this big a fool. Okay, maybe he is. Here's the whole thing.
It's not logical, Larry. I mean, what we know from the Energy Department and many other sources is that if we drill for more oil right now, we're not going to see the results for 7 or 8 or 10 years. And the results, say the Energy Information Administration, are going to be negligible in terms of prices. I mean, the only way of weaning ourselves off the addiction of oil is to invest, as Senator Obama wants to, in alternatives, non-fossil-based fuels, wind, biomass, water, other fuels that will allow us over the long term to create 5 million new jobs, to be the center of alternative energy for the country.
All right, now, here's another thing. We all know what addiction is, and we all know what addicts are like. Do you think of yourself as addicted to oil? Will you do anything to get a barrel of oil? Will you do anything to fill your car up with gasoline? Will you go out and steal from somebody to fill up your tank with gasoline? This notion that we are addicted to oil is akin to saying we are addicted to air, or that we are addicted to water, or that we are addicted to food, or that we are addicted to sunlight. Oil is every bit as much a factor and presence of nature as is anything else that is found on this planet. Yeah, he said something about, water, converting water into some sort of energy. We got states already suffering with water shortages as it is. Some states are in droughts. You got water fights in California. You got water fights going on here in Florida. Then Georgia, they're monumental. In North Carolina already. This is just, and all of this stuff that he mentioned is a pipe dream. But here's the second bite. Larry King says, well, wait a minute. Didn't, therefore, we make a mistake years ago? Because you're talking 7 or 8 years. If we'd done this 7 or 8 years ago, meaning drilling, we'd have that oil now.
Larry, our big mistake 7 or 8 or 10 or 15 years ago was not investing in alternative energies, wind and solar and all sorts of energies that don't pollute the atmosphere, that provide good jobs to Americans. Obama's plan would, and it is all...
Stop the tape. You just heard the former Labor Secretary in the Clinton administration, Robert B. Reich, say that we did not 7 or 8 years ago, or 10 or 15 years ago, invest in alternative energies, wind and solar. Yeah? Is that really? Labor Secretary Reich said, would you tell me why I saw a bunch of damn windmills pockmarking the countryside when I arrived in California in 1984? Try 24 years ago, sir. Would you explain to me why there are windmills and all these other... I had solar panels on my house in Sacramento in 1985, sir. Solar and wind have been around a long time, sir. For us to have windmills today, they had to be in a design stage and a permit process phase and all that years ago. We have been investing in wind and solar for 25 years, sir, and we still cannot heat a home with it. We still cannot power an automobile with it, and we still can't get even a kite off the ground with it. This, frankly, folks, is insultingly stupid and absurd. And they're playing you for a bunch of suckers. Frankly, Larry, the big mistake we made was not investing in these clean energies 7 or 8, 10, 15. We did! The dirty little secret, we've been investing in these things for years, and they haven't done diddly squat in terms of replacing oil, which is what this kick that they're on to replace oil. Where does this come from, even politically? Is there polling data out there that says a majority of Americans hate oil? That the way to the White House is to demonize oil? Where does this come from? This is irrational. It borders on the insane to hate oil. A lot of things can damage things just like oil can if it's, not properly contained and used. I just don't understand this. Well, I do, but I'm trying to express my incredulity here at the absolute stupidity of assuming a position. This is like coming out against oxygen. Or it's like arguing against rain. It's just silly. What is the damage? How has oil destroyed America? How has it destroyed people's lives? It's done just the opposite. Where does this come from? What in the world is the political calculation these people have to construct a presidential campaign based on the hatred of oil, as though oil itself is a conservative Republican? They're treating oil as no different than Bush. They hate Bush, they hate oil. And both are irrational. And our buddies at CNN, they're preparing a retrospective special, ladies and gentlemen, on the disaster that was the oil spill at Prince William Sound for the Exxon Valdez. What they will not tell you is that if you go up there today, you won't find any evidence of it other than the stupid memorials that human beings, this is where oil was on the rock. This is where the otter got eaten by the shark when we threw it back in there. The sea lion or whatever ate the otter. Nature cleaned up itself so damn fast. It was such a laughable thing to watch people with dish towels and Dawn dishwashing detergent wiping oil off of the rocks at Prince William Sound. Oh, it was an unpleasant sight. Of course, the birds got oil on their wings, and it was not pleasant to look at, but it's an accident. The skipper of the Exxon Valdez did not say, I want to destroy America. I want to destroy Alaska, and then let the stuff go. But anyway, the sea eats oil. The sea eats oil alive. That place up there, nature cleaned it up faster than we ever could. But why in the world this abject hatred for a commodity? I can understand if you're a little kid and you don't like peas or broccoli. But an entire political party and an ideological movement has now targeted oil